Every night, your brain willingly shuts down your awareness. You stop watching the door. You stop listening for footsteps. For 8 hours, the most advanced threat detection system on the planet just goes offline. That should have gotten us killed. For most of human history, the world after dark was not safe. Lions hunted at night. Rival tribes moved in the dark. And yet, every single night, early humans lay down anyway and let themselves go blind and deaf to it all. Why would evolution allow that? Biologist Steven Lima spent years studying this exact paradox. He found something strange. Sleep doesn't just make animals vulnerable. It makes them vulnerable on purpose. Some animals sleep in short bursts. Some sleep with half their brain still awake. Ducks at the edge of a group do this, one eye open, one hemisphere alert, literally standing guard while unconscious. But humans don't do that. We go all the way under. So researchers Alberto Acerbi and Charles Nunn built a model to test what predation pressure should have done to sleep. Their answer was blunt. If sleep were only a liability, evolution should have shrunk it down to almost nothing. It didn't, which means sleep isn't just tolerated despite the risk. Sleep is doing something so important, the risk was worth it. So what is worth risking your life for, every single night, for hundreds of thousands of years? Start with your brain, quite literally taking out the trash. In 2013, neuroscientist Maiken Nedergaard discovered a channel system in the brain that mostly activates during sleep. It flushes out metabolic waste that builds up while you're awake, including proteins linked to Alzheimer's disease. Your brain cells shrink slightly at night. That makes more room for fluid to wash through the gaps. You are not just resting. You are being cleaned out from the inside. Then there's memory. Sleep researchers Giulio Tononi and Chiara Chiarelli proposed that your brain spends the day getting louder and louder, every new experience adding another synaptic connection. Sleep is when the volume gets turned back down. Weak connections get pruned. Important ones get kept. Without that nightly reset, your brain would eventually drown in its own noise. Here's where it gets stranger. In 2015, sleep scientist Jerome Siegel studied 3 hunter-gatherer societies that still live without electricity: the Hadza, the San, and the Tsiman. No streetlights, no screens, nothing but firelight and darkness. You'd expect them to sleep long, like some ancient ideal we've lost. They didn't. On average, they slept about 6.5 hours a night, not more than modern humans, sometimes less. So it was never about hitting some perfect number of hours. Sleep isn't a luxury your ancestors could occasionally skip if things got dangerous. Every population studied, in every environment, still pays the cost. That's the part that should stop you. Evolution is ruthless. It deletes anything that isn't worth its price. It never deleted sleep. Which means somewhere in your skull, right now, there is a nightly override switch, one that shuts down your vigilance, blinds you to danger, and forces total surrender, because the alternative, staying awake forever, was somehow worse than the risk of predators in the dark. You don't sleep because you're weak. You sleep because your brain decided, hundreds of thousands of years ago, that being conscious all the time would kill you slower than being unconscious for 1/3 of your life ever could. Tonight, when you turn off the light, you're not resting. You're trusting a decision your ancestors made for you long before you were born, betting your life, once again, on the dark.